Hello and welcome to another fun-filled nonsense retrospective. I'm your host as always, Rick. Joining me equally as always is Devon.
Hail Andraste, or something.
Yeah. Hail to the blight. We're continuing on our Dragon Age Origins deep dive, or series of shallow dives, and today is going to be Redcliffe. But before we get too far into that, let's go with the good old time-old tradition of the nonsense asinine hypotheticals. What have you got for me today?
As we both know, Dragon Age is effectively the setting that BioWare went with because they lost the license to D&D.
Mm-hmm.
What classic D&D monster would you like to see in the Dragon Age setting that we haven't already seen in some form?
Okay, so the two big ones are like Mind Flayers and Beholders, I guess, that are actually D&D specific.
I mean, as long as it shows up in the D&D monster manual, I'm not being that fucking picky.
Yeah, because like other things, yeah, fair enough. Like other things can just show up, like liches show up, dragons show up, obviously. Oozes, kind of boring because most of them are like completely mindless. So yeah, it is between Beholders and what else did I say? Shit, Mind Flayers. Mind Flayers, I think, are a bit too specific to what they are. Like, to be honest, both of them are aberrations. Both of them could like make an appearance as some kind of unique Darkspawn, especially now.
Oh yeah.
So, the closest thing we got to the Mind Flayers are actually the like apostles of the old gods, because they're all like super old mages that can float around and be arseholes. So yeah, let's go with the Beholder. Let's get some Beholder lore. Let's get weird with shit. How about you? What's your pick?
I mean, yeah, the whole motivation behind this question is because I'm looking at my shelf of figures I've made and painted, and I'm looking at my Beholder, and I'm like, there's nothing even remotely resembling a Beholder in Dragon Age, which is interesting considering the origin of the system.
Yeah. There is one thing that resembles a Beholder.
Oh, yeah?
And it's all of the blight.
That's not true.
Because it's round.
What the fuck are you on about?
Because it's like imprisoned within the that ball, isn't it?
I think that's just a visualization for the sake of video games, Rick. I don't think that's meant to be taken literally.
Yeah, it's not just all round with tentacles.
It does not look like a Beholder. More importantly, it doesn't act like a Beholder.
Oh, it doesn't act like a Beholder in any way, no.
But I'm just envisioning like in like a super high level DLC where you're in a weird place of the deep roads and you meet a dwarf like Ghost or some shit, and it just says, yeah, don't go down there. Dwarves don't go down here because we've been told not to, and I found out why. Don't make my mistake.
Yeah, it's like the Eye of the Titan or something that's been reanimated or something.
It's just a Beholder. You don't need to get Dragon Age specific with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Rick, what about you? Do you have a question?
Viewer. My one for you is a little bit more simple. You get your dream home, but it always has a tarantula in it. You cannot capture the tarantula. If you do, it will escape. Do you take this?
What do you mean by is it specifically there to haunt me? Will it follow me wherever I go around the house, or is there just a tarantula somewhere in the house?
There's always a tarantula. You're always aware of it. Now and again you see it. Now and again it comes and like brushes up against you, being all hairy and hand-sized.
So it's specifically there to torment me?
It's there to torment you, but also it does its job of eating things.
Yeah, but I don't understand why it feels like an actual tarantula probably won't brush up against me.
Yeah, but this one does, because it's an arsehole.
Yeah, it's not an arsehole. The person asking the question is an arsehole, and he's decided that the tarantula is a cursed being. A cursed
tarantula that can teleport out of any trap that you cause for it. And if it dies, it respawns.
Well, good, because it'll die after about 20 years. I mean, no, because it's an evil tarantula meant to torment me. If it was just the condition there's a tarantula in my house, yeah, you might see it, but otherwise it acts like a normal tarantula, I'd be more inclined to take it. But you've specified that it's there to torment me, which means no, you're basically giving me a haunted mansion.
Yeah, fair enough.
And okay. I'll ask the same question of you towards you, but I know for a fact that you're not nearly as affected by the spider thing as I am.
Yeah, I'm taking it. Whenever I see a spider, it's doing its job. If he brushes up against me, then apparently tarantulas can be rather cute if you're on their side. But I wouldn't choose one as a pet myself.
You never said that. You said it was a malevolent being meant to torment.
Oh, it's a tarantula that does what tarantulas do, but also brushes up against you.
But that's
now and then.
You're fucking insane. The way you ask questions is so annoying to me.
Yep. But yeah, Dragon Age. After you've done one place, I believe, you get a random encounter on the road. You cannot avoid this encounter. This encounter is Zevran.
Yeah, I love this encounter because when you do it the second time, or, pretty much on every playthrough other than the first, you already know what's going to go down. So you're screaming at your TV screen, can I just leave? Please just let me leave. Because the whole setup is it's just a woman who makes out that she was a victim of some bandits, and then you follow her, and then boom. I think she's also a mage, isn't she? Because she joins the attack.
I think she is, yeah. And it's like, can I get paid now? And they just turn around and try and ambush you. And you can choose to kill Zevran, and I would not blame anybody in this setting for doing so immediately. However, as players, we know that there are, slots in the roster.
Zevran has one thing going for him, and that is he is incredibly charming.
Oh, he is, yes.
Like,
he even tells you at one point that one way he managed to kill someone once was by seducing them and then poisoning them in their sleep.
Yeah, I don't remember that particular story. But yeah, Zevran's not a nice person.
No, he's not. He's not.
I mean,
he's also incredibly easy to sleep with.
Well, yeah, but that's his gimmick. It's one of those where, he becomes a better human being, a better person as the games progress. But it's really debatable whether he actually has become a better person or not, because it's like,
yeah, he's always acting.
If you romance him, he drops the act.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you romance him, he won't sleep with you anymore. It's so fucking funny.
I do like how one of the conversation things with him is no boots for you, and he goes, no Antivan boots for Zevran.
I like Zevran. I like his initial dialogue, conversation, because when he wakes up, he's like, oh, I'm not dead. Yes, we're going to ask you questions. It's like, okay. There's one point where you can ask him, how can I be sure you're not lying to me? And he just goes, what do I possibly gain from lying in this scenario?
Yeah, especially when, he's essentially tied up. Like, all you have to do is one quick slip of the knife. Like, yes, he might be trying to lie his way out of things so he can escape and either disappear into the internet or come back and try again, but he's already tried once, and that was possibly his best attempt, because that was with the element of surprise.
Yeah, there's that, and there's also the fact that he straight up tells you that he is a very loyal person, up until the point that his loyalty means he has to die.
Yep, totally.
Like, he straight up tells you that if he goes back to the Antivan Crows and you're not dead, they will kill him.
Yeah.
And this is one of my issues with the Antivan Crows in Veilguard, by the way.
Yeah, because they don't behave like that in Veilguard.
In Veilguard, they're like, oh, we're noble, honourable assassins from a noble, honourable assassins guild, and it's like, no, you fucking not. I know how you treat folk.
Yeah. Or at least, 20 years ago they did, yeah.
Yeah, but it's one of those arguments of, oh, it's made up of a bunch of different cells, and each cell is different, and it's like, yeah, but fucking, I don't want my assassins to be good guys.
Yeah, I feel you. I like that the crows in general are like that in Veilguard, but not necessarily that it is the same crows. Like, I like that faction, but I don't think it is literally the same faction that we were expecting, and I think there's a massive amount of disconnect between the two.
For real. Now, they did kind of establish an Inquisition that some crows are more honourable than others, what with the Josephine storyline, but it's still a bit you can't be a little bit more cutthroat than this, guys.
Yeah. It's
God, I keep seeing it everywhere of just how sanitized Veilguard is, and I'm like, when you look at the Antivan Crows in particular, I kind of get where they're coming from.
Yeah, totally. Not only that, but there's not a single mention of knife ear anywhere to be had.
Oh, there's no fantasy racism in my game.
Yeah, the only thing that they have is where they say, oh yeah, we should not tell everybody that okay, spoiler, that elves are spirits, because we've got enough people, bigoted humans, without them saying, oh, elves are demons.
God, I've got to be honest with you, that entire plot point's weird at best.
Oh, it is weird, but at least they're actually going into the origin of the lore slightly.
Yeah, but it's dumb.
Oh, totally.
Can we not talk about Veilguard anymore in our Dragon Age Origins podcast?
Yeah, okay. But yes, we've got good old Zevran now. So if you didn't have a rogue before, which you had Liliana or possibly yourself,
I've got to be absolutely honest with you. 9 times out of 10, I'm picking Liliana anyway because she's spec towards opening locks.
Yeah. You can spec anyone towards doing anything, but doesn't Zevran start with deception?
That's not a thing in this game.
Or the speech thing, whatever speech is.
The only person who can use speech is your main character because he does all the talking.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
That is a skill tree complimentary, exclusive for the MC.
Yeah. So yeah, if you don't pick it, then you're foolish.
Okay, so this particular part of the game, the Redcliffe section, which we'll now move on to, we've recruited Zevran. Depending on what options you pick, depends on how rocky your relationship starts. But usually, as long as you're not an active dick to Zevran, he's pretty chill.
Yep.
He is also like a bit like Morrigan in the sense that, yes, his improvement does tend to go up when you pick arsehole options.
Yeah. He likes when you do silly and evil things, usually. Except sometimes he's like, no, I didn't like that specifically. That was too far, you're an arse.
I don't think I remember that ever occurring. Actually, you know what? I think very specifically the Blood Mage thing, if you sacrifice all the Alien Age elves, spoiler for later in Dragon Age Origins, I think he doesn't approve of that, but I think he doesn't approve of it because you kill so many elves for no reason.
Yeah, same with if you kill the elves to get werewolves on your side.
Huh, yeah, man, that's going to be an interesting fucking thing to talk about.
Yeah, he's like, man, you ask him, why, do you feel anything for them? And he turned it around on me and says, well, you're an elf, so do you feel anything for him? And I went, no. And he said, well, same, but there were still people.
Which is weird for an assassin.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he's based around the number of people rather than exactly what happened.
I think it also depends a little bit, because you got to bear in mind, a lot of Zevran's targets are implied to be political.
Yeah.
So there's usually a reason for him to kill someone. Granted, that reason for him personally is, you do this or we kill you. But you know, on the payment side of things, it's like, why are you paying me to kill this person? Oh, if they go and meet this person, then I'm going to lose one entire rank on the noble scale.
Yep.
And we can't have that.
Yeah. So yeah, when you get to Redcliffe, there's not a lot to do in the village. I think if you got Ogren, you've got some stuff to do with Felsi, is there? Or was that around Lake Calenhad?
That's around Lake Calenhad, but also like way late in the game, so don't worry about it.
Sure. There's a kid that you can find who's hiding in a cupboard, isn't he?
Fuck all that. First things first. You meet the village and you're immediately met by like 3 dudes in really shit armor with really shit weapons, and they're like, holy shit, armed people, are you from the castle? And we're like, what? No, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh fuck, nobody knows.
Yep. And long story short, there's going to be an undead attack.
Yeah, so the thing I'm going to jump ahead very slightly, but we won't dwell on it. The one thing I do love about this encounter when you eventually have it at night is none of the enemies are particularly tough. There's just a fuckzillion of them.
Yep, which makes mages really good.
Oh yeah, if you didn't already know that mages are kick-ass, this really highlights them.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if you're only doing 40 damage. If you're doing it to everything, then, that pulls its weight.
Oh yeah. But yeah, you get to the village, there's a few things to do. The first thing you do is probably meet Tegan.
Yeah, Ban Tegan, who's, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's a Ban because he's Al Ayman's brother?
Yeah, like brother or cousin or something, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously he gets a high rank, it's just automatic. You speak to him and he tells you, okay, so he basically just gives you the too long didn't read version of things of, okay, shit's going on in the castle, not quite sure how to deal with that. At the moment, we keep getting attacked every night by undead. We need to deal with that. There's going to be another attack tonight. There always is. So go around the village and try and prepare shit. So that's what we're focusing on Redcliffe Village.
Yeah, so you shore up some defenses as best you can.
There's quite a few things to do here, actually. You can go to the... it's like an abandoned shop, and there's a bunch of oil. And when you find it, your character is just like, oil. I think we can set fire to a bunch of undead.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a fun thing to do.
Yeah. You've got a few people you can recruit. You've got the knights that are just hanging out. They're like, we're really scared, so you have to go get some amulets from the...
From the Chantry, yeah.
Yeah, and then you talk to the lady in the Chantry, and she's like, for fuck's sake, this isn't how it works. It doesn't do anything. So you can either scream at her... or just convince her that, hey, listen, I can't understate how important morale is in a battle. Can you just, wave your hands over them and say you've blessed them? And she's like, I don't know, that's kind of close to lying. And it's like, yes, it's lying, but it will keep them alive.
Yes, and it's me doing the lying. You have provided exactly what you were asked for, which was an amulet. It's me that lets them believe that it's a protection amulet.
Yeah, and it works because it makes them fight harder and more likely to survive the battle.
Yeah.
You've got a really bastard dwarf who's just barricaded himself in a house. I can't remember if you have to... I think you got the choice of either lockpicking or just breaking down the door, and either results in the guy getting mad. He's just like, fucking great, you broke the door. Good fucking job.
Yeah.
I believe his name is Dwin.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, so he's got a couple of big, beefy bodyguards with with him, and you just give him shit for hiding in a house, and he's like, "Ah, yeah, fucking, this isn't my problem," is basically his argument. And then when you say, "Cool, I'm gonna make it your problem by either intimidating him or convincing him to not be a coward," and he goes, "Fine, fine." And I love the line of, "You better be out there fighting as well."
Yeah, so you can always choose not to, by the way.
Oh, you can just fuck off.
Yeah, you can. It's if you just leave, the dark option is just the town gets fucked.
Yeah, but it's not even a good option. Even if you're playing an evil character, it's not a good option because you don't get anything for doing that.
Yeah, it's just being an arsehole for no reason.
Yeah, that's one of the few things I adore about Dragon Age Origins in particular, is that you can't just take, like, a lot of the times when you're evil in a D&D game, it's just a stand-in for selfish. But in Dragon Age Origins, no, you can be fucking evil.
Yeah. It's being evil for evil's sake and not getting anything out of it.
Oh, I don't know. Some of the evilness is for your own benefit. Like, the whole logic of playing an evil character in Dragon Age Origins is, why do you save the world if you're evil? And it's like, well, because I still live in it.
Yeah. It's saving it for me. Or saving it for later, at least.
Well, it's just like, it's all well and good being like, the entire world, the entirety of Ferelden was taken over by Darkspawn. It's like, cool, you can't live there anymore then.
Yeah, unless you are a Darkspawn yourself, in which case you're not yourself.
And you can't even rule the ashes.
No. So, yeah, you've got, there's another one. Yeah, Owen's Repairs, apparently, is another one that you can do.
I don't remember this one. Owen is the blacksmith. He's got he's the one who wants you to save his daughter, and his daughter's in Redcliffe Castle for some reason, but I can't remember why.
Yeah. So, you gotta, he can repair armor and weapons for the villagers. Murdoch.
That's the mayor.
Is the mayor. Yeah, he's the one that sends you to go and help. And Owen refuses to help because he knows that you're sent by Murdoch, and you have to talk him down, especially by, agreeing to save his daughter, whose name apparently is Velena.
I couldn't tell you any of this shit.
But yeah, she's in the castle. And I also don't know why she's in the castle, but there she is.
I think she's got to be in the castle because she's a servant or something.
Yeah, maybe so.
I do remember that when you go to the tavern, a bunch of the militia are getting really pissy because they have to pay for drinks. And you go to the barkeeper, and it's so fucking silly because he's like, why shouldn't I charge for drinks? And it's like, okay, well, here's why. Because if the militia doesn't save your ass tonight, what good is the money?
Yeah. Like, there is a golden medium here of let them run up a tab. If they survive, which they are...
No. There's no, you're not running a tab for people who are risking their life to save you when you're doing fuck all. Yeah.
So it's one of those. If they die, they don't have to pay the tab.
No, there is no tab. No, I think what you're suggesting is also a dick move.
Alright, fair enough.
No, how is that fair? I am part of the militia. I am fighting undead, by the way. And if I don't make it, that's it. I'm dead, and I've done my part to save the village. This guy doesn't even volunteer to join the militia. Now, you can force him to join the militia, I believe. In which case, yeah, fine, whatever. You're all in the same boat. You can charge him whatever you like. But he's not. He's hiding in the tavern. He's not pulling his weight. Him pulling his weight is providing ale for free. And by the way, it's ale. It's not going to get you pissed.
No, yeah. And it's cheap, and it's probably shit. It's Ferelden ale is probably crap. Like, having 1 gold makes you immensely rich.
I mean, saying that, I think it's straight up 1 gold you have to pay him if you decide to just cover their bill.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, yeah. Whereas, there's lots of things in Veilguard that are, like, massively over the price of 1 gold, because the cheapest thing you can get, well, the smallest amount of money you can have is 1 gold. You don't get silver or bronze at all.
Yeah, it's a change they made when they went to Inquisition, and I gotta be honest with you, while it does retroactively make things stupidly cheap in former games, it's also like, I totally get it. Most players don't want to do the conversion.
Yeah. Gold is like 10,000. Yeah.
But yeah, I can't remember his name, but I remember there's an elf archer that you can recruit in the tavern as well.
Okay, I also can't remember his name. Let's just call him Faendal.
Why do I know that name?
Because he's the elf archer in Skyrim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the one that you can like pass a letter to Camilla Valerius for, and there's him and there's the other guy, and they're both like simping over Camilla Valerius, and if you they're both arseholes. They both want you to give her a letter to make the other one look bad, and if you make him the victor, then you can recruit him as your follower, and he can train you in archery.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, he's definitely the better person to side with just because he's a trainer.
Yeah, and trainers who are companions are the best because you can just go into their inventory and take the money out again. again.
Yeah, Rick likes to break video games. But yes, going back to this archer in question, I can't remember his name, but I know he's like a spy for Loghain or something.
All right, okay.
And
I didn't know that one.
Well, it might not be for Loghain, but he's definitely like fishy and shifty. I just sort of auto-completed it as him being a spy for Loghain, because who else is he going to spy for?
Sure, okay.
Like, why else? Who else is going to want to keep tabs on Arl Eamon and his lands?
Yeah, I guess.
So I guess I just auto-completed that in my mind. And yeah, if you're like, you're clearly doing something fishy, and he's like, oh, I'm just, no. It's not very convincing at all. But if your character doesn't have a high enough stat, or you didn't bring one of your rogues, then he just gets away with it.
Yeah.
But you're gonna bring rogue. You have to have a rogue in your party, otherwise you miss out on... It's so annoying, because none of the chests have anything decent in when they're locked, but I can't leave them.
Yeah. Beric, his name is.
Oh, okay.
Or Berwick. And he's a spy for All How, apparently, which is even worse than
yeah, but
than Loghain.
That's basically Loghain, because All How does just work for Loghain. I mean, at this point in the game, he does.
He does, but I think specifically How wants this land as well.
So fucking greedy.
Yeah. He's already got frickin' Koosland land.
Here's the thing:
at this point,
I don't think All How would be able to take this.
No,
unless of course the demon wins.
Yeah, like if the demon wins, then there's no more Arl Eamon. There's no more whatever his name is. Connor, is it?
I mean, there is a Connor. He's just possessed.
Yeah, and Isolde might have to just give her life to let you do the ritual anyway.
I don't like that idea, but okay. So if you suss Beric out, which shouldn't be hard to do, but is harder than not at all, you can just straight up say, okay, I know you're up to something fishy. I'll pretend I don't know that as long as you help us tonight. Yeah,
and you can get him to do it.
Yeah, so he helps out.
He's happy enough with that. As soon as you tell the whoever you want to tell, whether it be the mayor or Sir Perth, the story jumps ahead to nighttime.
I will say this section is... I've only ever done this once with Oghren in the party, because I remember on one of my last playthroughs I ever did, I was like, let's go recruit Oghren first and see what wacky shit he says on these adventures. And boy, Oghren wants to fight a lot of people.
Just people in general, or undead in particular?
He gets really pissed off with Dwyn.
Okay.
Well, because it's potentially one of the first surface dwarfs he meets. He's well armoured and he's well armed and he's hiding.
Yeah.
Also, if you bring Sten when you meet Dwyn, there's a very nice detail of Dwyn getting really unsettled by just looking at Sten, and Sten's just like, he's staring at me. And later on, we find out why.
But yeah, it starts and there's a fight.
If you've done all the preparations, this fight is laughably easy.
Yeah, totally.
So much so that if the entire village worked together before you got here and got all this shit sorted out, it's still a problem because it happens every night, but it's nowhere near as big a problem as they think it is.
Yeah. So yeah, you fight and you win. You make your way into the castle.
Well, you defend the village, and then once you finish up, that's when Ban Tegan tells you about the secret hatch that lets you sneak into the castle.
Yes, that's the one.
Why did you think we fought to the castle?
Because I remember getting to the castle,
yeah,
and I didn't remember that you went down the little side in the shadows to the left. Actually, I think it's down on the right hand side, isn't it?
It's inside a windmill.
Yeah, right.
In fact, the only way you can actually access it is, I believe, you need Tegan's signet ring to open up the hatch.
Okay. Yeah, the undead attack on the sawmill.
You start the fight at the top of the hill when you've got the knights and Dwyn with you, and then they're like, okay, we're okay down here. Oh shit, there's loads of undead down there. We'll hold the line.
Yeah. They go back to the chantry, and that's when Tegan's gone like, we've won. So yeah, hey, have the ring.
Yeah, and he tells you how to get to the castle. And I'm now going to rely on you heavily for the castle bit, because I can't remember dick about fuck until you actually enter the Fade again. I know there's a bunch of demons in the castle, and that's your first hint of, oh, shit's really going down here. But that's about the extent of my memory. Yeah,
there's like a reception room when most of it happens, I believe. But yeah, you meet up with Tegan again at the windmill. Only the Garen family can get in. And then you meet up with Isolde, which is Tegan's sister-in-law, I assume.
Well, if he's Aemon's brother, then...
Yeah, it would be, yeah. And she refuses to say anything unless Tegan agrees to return to the castle with her alone, which is a real weird thing to do.
Oh, yeah, this is why you get the ring, because he goes, okay, here's the ring and here's the secret passage. Fucking help me.
Yeah. When Tegan informs her that you're Grey Wardens, she's like, okay, I'm sorry, I was rude, I'm not in the best circumstances, and then you fight a few demons, and then she tells you about Connor, who appears to have gone mad, won't leave the castle, and is just having Eamon sleep forever.
Yeah, and when you... I'm going to skip over all the fight, because it's just fights. It really is just that. There might be a few traps that you have to avoid, demonly demon traps. You have to find Owen's daughter. Can't remember where she's hiding, but she's there somewhere. When you actually get to the throne room, it's quite funny, because it's funny until you realise how fucked it is, but all you see is Bantagan jumping around doing a dance.
Yeah, he's been turned into a jester for Connor.
Yeah, and Connor says, nobody tells me what to do, and it just cuts to Tegan going, nobody, in that really stupid fucking voice.
Yeah. Jowan is around and about.
Yeah, Jowan is almost entirely responsible for this.
Yeah, like almost entirely. Like the only thing that wasn't Jowan's doing was, I think, the undead. But even that, like, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because undead are basically just spirits or demons possessing corpses. So yeah, I guess that is kind of the demons doing, isn't it?
Well, I've always took it as like it wasn't a malicious thing by either the demon or Connor. I always took it as the fact that Connor's been possessed and a bunch of demons have been brought through by the demon. The veil's just weakened enough that caused the undead problem.
Yeah, just a flood of disquieted spirits and demons.
Like, that's just been my interpretation, though. Like, it does seem that the undead attack was less a concentrated effort and more a side effect.
Yeah. And do you also have the benefit of using the Urn of Sacred Ashes here as well?
Yes, but we need to do a whole different thing for that.
Yeah, so you can leave Eamon essentially comatose until you get the urn.
I mean, you have to. There's no way you've gotten the urn. Well, okay, you can get the urn before meeting old Eamon, but it's a weird order to do it in.
Yeah, like, that's why we picked to do this next, because it's, if you leave Redcliffe for last, which you can do, it feels like the wrong thing to do, knowing that there is the undead attack.
Yeah, but you can just you could just hand wave it as the undead attack didn't start until like a day or two before you arrived. You know?
Yeah. It's one of those where like everything is happening at the same time, except it's only happening when you start viewing it.
I mean, it's the case in point with the unsuccessful Warden recruits. Everything's happening at the same time. It just depends which place Duncan happened to be in.
Yeah. But yes, you've got the demon. Once you've got Jowan, you can then take Jowan's offer to go in, which either includes a bunch of lyrium, which you can get from the Mage Tower, which also includes, was it Gregor? No, not Gregor's the other guy, isn't it?
You want Erwin as the
Erwin,
mage.
yeah.
That being
you can bring Erwin.
Straight up, you should just say no to Jowan's offer, because Jowan's offer involves blood magic explicitly, and it's fucked. You should go, why don't we just go see the mages in the tower over there? Which is a good idea, even if you haven't been there yet.
Yeah, because Jowan's blood magic basically means, okay, Isolde has to sacrifice herself just to get you in there.
It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, and she's perfectly happy to do that because it's her son.
Yeah, but it's still stupid. Because there is an alternative. If you have a mage in your party, they straight up will say, you're fucking stupid.
Yep. And yeah, you get to do a little ritual, ideally with Erwin along your side, and you get to choose to send one of your party members if they're a mage, if you're not a mage.
Yeah, so you've got 4 choices here.
Yeah.
5 if you're
Erwin,
a mage.
Yeah, Erwin, Morrigan, Wynne, yourself. Does Jowan get to choose to go as well?
You can make Jowan go if you want.
Yeah, and of all of those, the only one that's actually a really good choice to pick is yourself as a mage.
Yeah, because you actually get options.
Yeah, you get options. This is another time where the speech check is good, because you can intimidate the demon into giving you everything.
Yeah, I never bothered doing that. I always just sent in a mage. Well, usually I wasn't a mage anyway, but if I was a mage, it's like, I don't want anything you have to offer. I want you to fuck off.
Yeah. Like with Morrigan, it's really funny, because she's like, that's literally pretty much what she says. You have nothing to offer me. I'm Morrigan. I'm me. Look at me.
I absolutely love if you send Erwin in, because for one, if you say Erwin, can you do it? Erwin's like, what? Why? And you're like, because you're the first enchanter. You're a super badass, and I trust you. And he's like super flattered and like, oh okay. But all of his dialogue when he's inside is just like, I'm too fucking old for this shit.
Yeah, and he's one of the only characters where you just like can't level him up at all. He's like Davith and Jory.
Yeah, but you don't need to.
Yeah, because all he has to do is walk to a point and say no to the demon, which he's done already. Like, canonically, every mage in Ferelden has already said no to a demon.
Yeah, except Jowan. Well, actually, it's probably... Well, oh, yeah, no, because Jowan hasn't done the fucking binding. What's it called?
Yeah, the harrowing.
Yeah, I went too far off.
Yeah. Yeah, as a player character, this is where you can unlock blood magic for your entire profile, get the achievement, and then reload and not do that.
Yeah, you can also just ask Jowan. I believe there's a dialogue option with Jowan that also unlocks blood magic.
Yeah, you can also just buy a tome of it when you're in Awakening.
No, I definitely unlocked it in the main game. I just never used it because, again, blood magic is explicitly evil in Dragon Age Origins.
Yeah, it is, and it even fucks with the other things as well. So like you can't heal yourself with magic if you've got blood magic active. So like it doesn't combo nicely with healer, for instance.
I will say though, it does combo nicely with. It actually makes the fucking ranger-esque subclass for rogues useful because you can use their summoned animal as a target for your blood magic shit, and it's just like, who cares if the bear dies?
Yeah, you just make another. Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. Yeah,
it's not cool in any way, but it is a combo.
Oh no. It's not cool, but it is a combo. Yeah. It's even better with when you've got like it's a thing that people have done in D&D, and they call it out in the latest handbook of people who like warlocks who carry around a bag of rats or a bag of spiders just to kill one to get the benefit of the on kill effects, like Fiendlock getting temp HP. They don't last long because their patrons think that they're little pussy bitches.
That's fair. If I was a DM, which I've been in the past, and someone said this is what I want to do, I'd be like, that's fine as long as you're explicitly evil. Yeah.
My bag of crunchy bugs.
It's like
I eat 3 of them and then kill one with Eldritch Blast to get some temp HP.
It's like when I made one of our player characters in our Strahd campaign, I said, okay, you can do this, but you're evil now.
Yeah. Knowingly eating souls, yeah.
Like, for real, like, if you're doing this, you're evil. And it's like, yeah, but my culture, I don't care. I didn't say it as meanly as that, but it's like, yeah, you can do this, but you have to change your alignment to evil, and that matters in the Strahd campaign.
Yeah, totally. Apparently Velena's just hiding in one of the rooms.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her.
Yeah, totally. You can tell her about the passage back through the secret passage to the windmill.
And you should, because I do. While I don't remember her finding her, I do remember that fucking Owen is practically in tears when you meet him again.
Yeah.
It's a really nice scene.
Yeah, it is. But yes, now that you've got the demon dealt with, the undead stop.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it for this until you come back with the good old Urn of Sacred Ashes to heal our Leman.
I've got to be honest with you, the Urn of Sacred Ashes quest is such a fucking weirdly paced quest that I forgot it existed.
Yeah, so and the other thing is you can piss in the urn and get the Reaver subclass, which, is cool, but it's another one of those. You unlock it once and then go back and reload.
Yeah, I do at least appreciate Dragon Age Origins for once you unlock a subclass, it's just unlocked forever whenever you play.
Yeah, it's all your account has it. You don't have to go through all the rigmarole anymore. And yeah, you can just reload and make Ogryn into a Berserker Reaver. I
absolutely love trying to learn to be a Berserker from Ogryn, because he tells you about all this shit Berserkers had to do, and you're like, can you teach someone to be a Berserker? And he goes, maybe, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, then he does.
Oh yeah, I really do like the way he explains being a berserker, because it's just something that I feel like doesn't get touched upon, and that is, yeah, you're pissed off and you're angry, but you have to focus your anger. You can't just swing wildly.
Yeah, like I appreciate as well that you do just unlock some subclasses just by talking to your friends.
Yeah, I think the weirdest though is Templar from Alistair.
Because he's not even a real one. He's just done enough of the training that he can kind of teach you, and even then he doesn't want to unless you're at like really high approval with him.
Which is really easy to do as long as you're not a jerk.
Oh yeah. Okay, so it's easy to get high approval with him, but you have to put effort into doing so. Like, you have to have him with you quite often.
I get what you're saying, however, almost every single playthrough, he's my main tank, so...
Yeah, true. Yeah, true enough. Like, it's easy for him to be the main tank if you're not, like, a warrior yourself, or even if you are a warrior and you want to just swing a big whack.
I mean, if I'm playing a warrior, that's what I do, because I like having Alistair.
Yeah.
And also, it just feels right having the 2 last Grey Wardens be the ones who go everywhere.
Sure. I don't mind having a Grey Warden be a rogue either, because, like, we're using 2 swords. Yeah, it's the way that Zevran fights, but it's also the way that Duncan fought.
Well, we don't even know if Duncan was a warrior or a rogue.
Yeah, because he's a dual wielder, and, like, warriors and rogues can both do that. Alistair can also do that if you give him 2 swords, and it just makes it so that when he kills the... if he's the one to kill the ogre at the beginning, it just makes him look really cool. It makes him look like Duncan, which is really cute.
Another reason why I say we're not sure about Duncan's class is because his armor is actually ambiguous as to whether it's heavy or medium.
Oh, yeah, it's almost definitely medium armor, and yeah, both of them can use medium. The only thing it's not is light armor.
Oh, it's definitely
not.
not.
Metal on it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's one of those where light armor's weird in these games because light armor's kind of replaced by robes.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So, do you have to have done the Sacred Ashes first, or no? I think you do. You get this after you've done the demon shit, because don't you get the little ceremony with Bantegan in the village?
I think you do. Yeah.
Because this is how you unlock the champion class.
Yes, it is. Like, this is one of the other good ones to use for like any warrior.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, give it to Alistair.
So the thing I like about this is I was on like my 4th playthrough, so I was kind of fed up with this scene. And you can say no to being made a champion of Redcliffe, and Bantegan's like, "Are you sure? It's just a ceremonial thing." And you just go, "I said no," and Bantegan just sort of makes a face and goes, "Okay."
I've never tried that.
Well, because why would you refuse this? You know?
Yeah. Like being a champion of a place that, okay, you might not want to live there, but the fact that you are a champion means that you're probably going to have an easy time living there in the future once everything's good.
It's just so funny because the way Tegan's just like, "Okay, we'll move on then," and then I think he officially gives you your quest for the Sacred Ashes urn.
Yeah.
I might be misremembering things in the timeline. Don't fucking hate me for this, because again, I wanted to replay the game, but that would require digging out my PS3 because I'm not playing with keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, and it's 20 years ago.
20 years?
Well, damn near.
It wasn't 2004. This came out after Skyrim.
Yeah, it's like 2007, I believe.
Skyrim came out in 2011.
Huh.
This game is not as old as you think it is. This was PS3, prime PS3. I'm now Googling it.
Xbox 360, yeah. It's I think it was between Mass Effect 1 and 2.
It came out in 2009.
Okay.
So this came out pre-Skyrim, but it was nowhere near as old as you think it is.
Yeah, fair enough. So, like, what, 15 years?
I mean...
16?
Yeah, 16 now, by technicality.
But probably 15 based on the fact that it probably didn't come out in January.
I think it came out in October. I've already closed the tab, so I can't double check. So it was definitely a late year release. It was on my phone, dude.
Okay.
I can't type with my keyboard, you know this.
Plug a keyboard into your phone.
Fuck off.
No, yeah. My keyboard's also died. I might have to buy a new one. It's bothersome.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, this is going to be really interesting for the audience, but usually I've got my wireless keyboard plugged in, but that thing's loud as fuck, so no, I'm not typing with it while on the podcast.
Yeah. Tippity-tappity, yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Once you've got the champion, man, Warrior has some cool things going on in Dragon Age 1. Like, you got, I think all of them are good.
One second. So what have we got? We've got Templar, Champion, Reaver, and Berserker, yeah?
Yeah, like, they're all good.
I never used Reaver that much.
Yeah, I feel like the two of them go well together. Like, I felt like I didn't miss anything by having Champion, Templar, Alistair, and Reaver, Berserker, Oghren, and then Sten just only gets one, so you just pick whatever.
Why does Sten only get one?
Because he does. Like, apparently being Kunari is good enough to, like, in stat bonuses that they just only let him take one subclass.
Oh, fair enough. I imagine him being a champion.
Yeah. I think it's more based around like not so much charisma, but you know what I mean, like the like force of will and inspiration and stuff. So maybe he's not the best champion, but yeah, he's very definitely a big guy.
Here's the thing about Dragon Age is, like, apart from getting the achievement that required doing it on hard mode, I just played on normal, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah. Hit with the bonk stick, things fall down.
Also, I've got to be honest with you, I stopped using Sten as soon as I got Ogryn.
Yep. Like, Sten's funny.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, most of the fun can be gotten by just chatting to him.
Don't take Sten with you to get the Sacred Urn.
Oh, yeah. Does he just turn on you?
He doesn't turn on you, but you're like halfway up the mountain. It's before you even meet the first, the camp, which pretends to be somewhat friendly until it's obviously not. Sten's like, why are we chasing fairy tales? Your job is to destroy the Blight. And it's like, yes, but we need to do this, and then we'll destroy the Blight. And he's just like, no, I can lead better. And he challenges you to a fucking duel.
Yeah. Why are we chasing the ashes of a dead woman? Yeah. Because he's like, man, this is literally the furthest away from anything that you could ever be, and I believe you're being a coward. And yeah, he challenges to a duel.
No,
and,
he doesn't think you're being a coward. He just thinks you're being incredibly wrong.
Yeah. And Haven, like, what a turnaround for Haven, becoming actually a reasonable settlement in Dragon Age Inquisition.
It doesn't last for long.
No. But yeah, when you go there for the first time in Origins, it's basically cannibals.
They're not cannibals, because honestly, the only people they kill are people who come looking for the Sacred Urn of Ashes, which isn't that many.
Yeah.
But that's a thing for another podcast. In fact, probably the next Dragon Age podcast, because we'll have a quick trip to Denerim and do the Sacred Urn quest in the next episode. Does that sound fair?
Sure, Denerim and the Urn.
So let's do our wind down, and you're the host, so you lead.
Okie dokie. So, from the general Redcliffe times, do you have a favourite moment?
It's a bit of a cheating one, I grant you, but I absolutely adore the feel. Like, it's almost a Helm's Deep feeling of going around the village and doing all these preparations. At the end of the day, it's just a series of fetch quests, but it feels like you're preparing for a fucking siege.
Yeah.
And I love that shit. I really do.
Yeah, like, piggybacking off of that, when we did something similar in the tabletop Dragon Age, like, it was very much like that. We were, like, at an Avar camp. Like, I was teaching the younglings how to shoot bows, and someone else was telling them how to chop down siege ladders and all that stuff.
If you're doing anything involved in a D&D-esque setting, copying one of the major climax points of a Lord of the Rings movie is not a bad thing to try to emulate.
Yeah. And some might say one of the better Lord of the Rings movies. Like, I think it's the best.
It's a real toss-up between that and Return of the King for me, but yeah, I get you. Yeah.
It's one of those, like, it's a real Empire Strikes Back, Darkest Hour kind of thing, and yet things start to go well.
I know, man. There's just... here's the thing. Let's not talk about Lord of the Rings. Fuck it. No, I'm not going to go into it. Fuck. Rick, what's your favourite moment for Dragon Age Origins Redcliffe section?
I think it's actually going and, like, facing down the demon, because it's just a culmination of everything you've done up till this point. And I think it's, like, the fact that you can bend things to your advantage is, like, a real positive turning point for your band, really, because, like, things have been generally going badly until now, and now you're getting to lean on your allies.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. So you mean, like, straight up being like, here's the awful choice of taking Jarwan's blood sacrifice deal, or the mages owe me a favour.
Yeah, let's call in Irving.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a pretty cool moment, truth be told. And, like, when the mages said, oh, you'll have the backing of the tower, I didn't think I'd be able to rely on them before the final battle.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to call that favour in so soon. And yet, here they are, just showing up in full force. Or at least in as full a force as they need to, literally the head of the circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of all this, do you have a weakest link?
It's a tough one, because honestly, I think Redcliffe is one of the highlights of the game. I think I struggled with this for the Mage Tower as well. Pretty much everything in this game is just top tier, and I think my bias might be showing by saying that. If at a push, I struggled to remember anything that happened between the siege and reaching the demon. It was just more shit to fight.
Yeah, I get you.
So I guess my weakest link was that section was not interesting. It was just more gameplay. Is that a bad thing? No, but it is what I'd give my weakest link at a push, you know?
Yeah, I get you.
How about you? Do you have a weakest link today, sir?
It's weird, but, like, I think my actual weakest link is that you don't recruit Jowan. Like, everything seems to be set up that, like, this is another evil party member that has done awful things and is ripe for a joining. Yes, it can't be done right now because none of your, like, current wardens know how to do it, but conscripting him seems to be, like, the perfect answer to him, you know, having done a lot of shit and now actually wanting to do the right thing for once, to maybe just to avoid death, but also, you know, it just feels real bad that even, like, the best thing you can say is, yeah, he helped. And he goes, yeah, well, everyone knows I helped with blood magic, so I'm going to get executed for this. Thanks about that.
Here's the thing, though. I appreciate where you're coming from, and you always think that more party members is a good thing. And in general, that's a good idea. I think Jowan's done far too much dirt to be given this olive branch.
Well, fair enough. And the thing is, if you know about him, then that means you're a mage, and that means there'll be 4 mages.
And here's the thing as well, though, Rick, is we also see in this game the problem of blood magic trigger happy Grey Wardens.
Yeah, you go to that frickin' DLC place, don't you?
Yeah, which we can slot in at any point, by the way.
Yeah, I liked getting the blood magic DLC thing for a rogue. It felt cool.
Yeah.
But for getting it for anyone else, it feels like meh.
But yeah, that's something for another day, I feel.
But yes, that's my weakest link. Do you have an MVP for this segment?
Oh, jeez, that's actually a tough one.
I've got a real easy one.
I think I'm going to give the MVP. I'm not ignoring you, I'm just playing on with my thoughts. I think I've got to give the MVP to Ban Tegan.
Yeah, absolutely. A double award for Ban Tegan. He's doing his best to rally everything around outside, and the only reason he's not much help inside is because he's been puppeted by a possessed child.
Yeah, normal... I don't think we can stress this enough. Normal people with no access to magic have got 0 defense against this shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Even people who have defenses against it are not impervious, like the Templar that we saw who was being, controlled by the succubus.
Yeah, but that's not still no magic. They got the lyrium suppression ability, but it's not magic.
Yeah.
But this is just another contributing factor as to why the populace at large is fucking shit scared of mages.
Yeah. And until you revive Tegan, until you revive Emon, Tegan actually steps up really well to a leadership role of Redcliffe.
Yeah, I mean, Tegan is just all round great. So much so that at the end of the game, depending on... Can I spoil the end of the game slightly, Rick?
I think so. It's a bit old.
At the end of the game, depending on certain decisions, if you did good and you did well, you get one of the ending slides is just straight up, Eamon was like, oh shit, everyone loves Tegan now because he did such a good job. I'm getting old. I'm just going to make Tegan the new Arl.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, people would probably have accepted Eamon as an interim regent as well.
Well, yeah, but they didn't need it.
Nah, they didn't need it because we've got Logain's daughter, whose name escapes me right now.
Honora.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that one?
Hey, Honora.
No.
But yes, that's it from us today. If you've got the comment section on YouTube or Spotify, you can tell us what you thought of Redcliffe, what you thought of the things leading up to Redcliffe, and what you're hoping for our next segment, which is going to be Denerim and the Urn of Sacred Ashes. If you don't have the comment section, if you're listening on a different audio platform, for instance, you can instead send an email to nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Everything that my colleague just said, that's right, we're officially business partners, is applicable. But don't forget, if you send us something funny or something amusing or just a great question, we will read it out on a future episode. Although if it's Dragon Age themed, it will probably be not until Denerim comes out.
Yep. We'll put a pin in it and wait for the next Dragon Age time. But yes, that's it from me.
And that's it from him. Bye, guys.